Hello, friends. I'm Kate. This is Bone Health Yoga. We're looking at using yoga to help with osteoporosis and osteopenia. So we're going to start on the floor on our back, but have handy a blanket, or if you don't have a blanket handy, some towels or pillows. I've got blocks, and I have a balance pole for tree pose. And if you don't have one of those, that's fine too. You can use a chair or the wall. So let's get started. We're going to come down onto the floor and start with our first pose. So we're going to come, I'll face this way. And we're going to come all the way down onto the back. And if it's uncomfortable to have the legs all the way straight out, you can leave the knees bent, feet in the floor. Otherwise, bring the legs all the way out. So this is a little bit of a back bend that we're doing, and just be mindful of that. So we're going to bring the legs together, toes point up towards the ceiling. And on the inhale, we're going to bring our arms up overhead. On the exhale, arms come back down by your sides. Inhale, nice and smooth and slow. Going just as far as is comfortable. You may not get all the way to the floor above you. That's okay. Exhale, bring it back. And again, inhale. And exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Excellent. All right, from here, we're going to do a gentle twist, and I'm going to turn, I have two mats out, so I'm going to turn 90 degrees so I can illustrate better what I'm doing here. So we're going to bring the knees, our bent feet into the floor, and one knee is going to stay straight up towards the ceiling as the other knee goes out towards the side. That first side is going to come back up, and then the other knee is going to go down towards the floor. We're just going to go back and forth like that a couple of times. And let's finish up evenly. And then we're going to do one-legged Apanasana here. So bring one knee in, set the foot down on the floor, other knee comes in, set the foot down on the floor. So this is an exhale, and inhale back down, exhale, knee comes in, inhale back down. And let's do one more time each side. And then we're going to come up to hands and knees. So we're going to come over onto one side, moving slow. If you have your blocks handy and need to use them to come up, have them where you can reach them. We're going to come over onto one side. And then we're going to get, this is if you need some help getting up. Otherwise, come up to hands and knees. You can use the block to come up higher. All right, so hands and knees. Let's start off with, we're just going to do a little neutral to cow. So we're just doing a gentle back bend here. So we're going to inhale at neutral. And then as we move into cow, we're going to exhale here. We're not dumping the belly towards the floor, we're just keeping it neutral, or just keeping it natural. Excellent. All right, next I'm going to go another 90, back to 90 degrees here. We're going to come into spinal balance. So I want to keep my gaze a couple feet out in front, if that's comfortable. We don't want to be looking straight down or straight out. So somewhere in the middle, that feels okay. So the first thing we're going to do is extend that one leg back. And that can be your starting point with your opposite arm out. If you have that ability to extend that leg further out and lift it up, go ahead and do that. Engaging those core muscles. Keep the breath going. And then when you're ready, release that side. We'll go to the second side. Extend that leg back. And extend the opposite arm forward. And if you'd like, you can lift and extend that back leg. Keeping the breath going. And then release that side. All right, let's do that again. And extend that foot back, touching the floor, arm forward, lift the leg, push back with the heel, extend with the fingers. And then release. Second side, step the foot back. Arm can come forward and then lift the leg if you'd like. And then you can come back. Next, we're going to come into our plank. So with anything, we have different levels here. So first level is like we started with our spinal balance. Extend one leg back. And then extend the other leg back. You can also just walk the knees back a little bit. And maybe the hands forward a little bit. And come into a level 1 here. If you're ready to go beyond that, you're going to extend both feet back into a nice, long, tall plank. And then come out. And then let's do it again. So if you did one side, you do the other side next, or if you've done both, we'll go back to the beginning. Or if you're into a full plank, come into your full plank. And then release. Excellent. From here, you can shake the wrists out if they got a little sore. And then we're going to come down to cobra. Come down to the forearms, walk the legs back, bring the belly to the floor. And then we're going to come all the way down. So we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders. We're going to tuck the elbows in at the wrists. And then we're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest. Bringing the forehead down towards the floor. When you're ready to come up, we're going to come up from the back of the neck, that mother cat lifting the kitten from the back of the neck. And you can lift the hands up off the floor so we're not pushing into the hands to lift. And then when you get to your highest level, turning and looking up. And not all the way up, just a little bit further out. And then on the exhale, dip the chin towards the chest and then bring the head down to the floor. 2 more times. Inhale, lift from the back of the neck. And then turning and looking up. Exhale, drop the chin all the way down to the floor. And one more time. Inhale, lift from the back of the neck, tipping up and looking ahead. Exhale, dip the chin, lower back down to the ground. Next, we're going to come into our locust pose. So we're going to be lifting just the legs for this one today. A full locust is lifting the arms and the legs, but let's just go with the legs today. So you can do alligator at the top, stack the hands and rest the forehead on the hands. And then we're just going to lift the legs one at a time. If you've done both sides and you want to try both legs at the same time, you can do that. Remember, the legs are heavy, so we want to make sure that we are focusing in on lifting with the proper alignment here. Keep going with one leg at a time or both legs. If you're doing single legs, finish up evenly. And then from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. So we're going to come up to hands and knees. And bring your hands under the shoulders, lifting up, hands and knees. And then from here, we're going to curl the toes under. Walk the hands forward maybe a little bit. And inhale, lift the hips up. Let's take a moment here and walk your dog. And then we're going to straighten the legs, push in with the hands, extend the torso, top of the head faces the floor. And bend the knees, come up on the toes. Do both feet at the same time. Straighten the legs again, and then when you're ready to come out, we're going to either look up at the hands and walk the feet forward, or look back at the feet and walk the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees. And then we're going to come up with a straight spine. So you're going to bring the arms up by the elbows, bend the knees nice and deep, push in with the feet, inhale as you come up. And then hands start. Sorry, crazy hair day. Whew. All right, so next we want to come into our mountain pose. So if you have great balance today and you want to bring your big toes together, heels are maybe a couple inches apart, that can be your starting point. Or if you feel like you want your feet hip width distance apart, maybe even wider, that's fine. Or if you're a little wobbly, even still, chair or a pole. All right, so let's get our body in that beautiful postural balance here. So all four corners of the feet, got that neutral pelvic tilt, so if you want to play with that for a minute before you do it. And then the thighs go back and the shins come forward, and that may just be words to start out with, but we'll keep working with that. And then we want to look at this upper torso here, or upper rib cage, sorry. So the collarbones come away from the center and the sternum goes down. So we're opening up that heart space, shine the heart light up. Or if you want to look at the back body, shoulder blades come towards each other and then in towards the heart. So you can do either or both of those. That's going to get you a similar result. And depending on how your mind processes what you're feeling in the body. All right, so let's take a couple breaths here and really play with where things are. So maybe you can see I'm hyperextending my knees here. So I want to bring my knees back in and lift up. Check in. Another spot that's really good to pay attention to is the back of the neck. Remember, we did that lift up. So we're going to do the same thing. So as though somebody's pulling the neck back and then the crown of the head up. So that's going to give you a nice lengthening and extension in the spine, making space for all that's going on in there. All right, next, let's come into our tree pose. So again, we have a bunch of different options here. A chair or a pole is great to have when you're starting out with balance, if you're a little wonky on your feet. Otherwise, I'm going to start with level 1, and I may just stay at level 1, show you what the other options are, but stay with level 1 today. So that's going to be a tripod foot, ankle above or heel above the ankle of the opposite foot. So right now I'm kind of popping out to the side. I want a nice, long, strong hip on my straight leg, and then the knee that's bent, that hip is open out to the side, as far as is comfortable. So once you have this, then we can add the hands and arms. So hands can stay at the hips if that feels more comfortable. Bring the hands to the heart. Or if you don't feel terribly wobbly and you want to, you can extend the arms up in any fashion that you like. Sometimes a nice big Y feels good. A little more heart opening, more space for the lungs here. Some people like arms straight up or hands together and index fingers pointed up. Certainly a traditional looking tree. Or straight out to the side, like a tightrope walker. Maybe that's what this feels like today. Other options with the feet, once you find your hands, you can bring that foot up on the calf or up above the knee, as long as you're not pushing directly on the knee. That's an option too. But I'm going to stay here in tripod pose. And what you can do with the arms is move them around. That gives the legs the muscle memory of keeping your balance or coming back into balance if you're moving. And then let's take a couple breaths here wherever you feel strongest in this pose. And then coming out nice and gracefully. Excellent. All right, shake that leg out, shake the other leg out. Let's do the other side. So again, I'm just sticking with tripod pose today. So we're going to check in with this first hip, nice and strong. Other side, open. Hands, hips, heart, out, up, whatever feels good today. And it doesn't have to be the same on each side with the arms. You can move them on one leg and not the other. Maybe if you have a stronger balance side, you can be more fluid with that other side. You can even do big circles. Just want to check in with that foot that's stationary. Maybe noticing all four corners of the foot. And if you do feel a little wobbly, extend the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Find something to look at, maybe straight ahead or a little bit on the floor where nothing else is moving. And if you want to bring your foot up higher, you're welcome to do that, or keep it where it is. And again, as you practice this more often, once you have this down and you want to move up, you can do that. Or if you have something to balance with, you can move up higher into the levels as you go when you have an extra tool to help you out. So tools are not bad things. They are very helpful. All right, so let's take a couple more breaths here. And then coming out nice and gracefully. All right, shake that leg out. Shake that other leg out. And then we are going to come back down to the floor. So if you are struggling to come up and down, the blocks are a good tool, or the chair. So what you can do is blocks and then come down to one knee and then the other knee and then come over and sit. So it's not as much of a drop to the floor as a step down as you go. So we're going to do that same tree pose supine, so on our back. And we're just going to roll onto the back. Maybe give the knees a hug. If it feels okay, rock side to side. Kind of giving yourself a massage there. And then we're going to bring the feet down to the mat and extend one leg all the way straight up. Either one, doesn't matter. We'll do both sides. And then we're going to take the second leg. And you can bring that foot by the knee, down by the ankle, or up closer towards the torso. And then we're just going to bring that knee out to the side. And then arms come out to the side or up overhead. So if this isn't comfortable when you're standing, maybe it's more comfortable on your back. And extend the fingers out. So whichever position you pick, the Y, maybe a U if you want to call it a U, or a T. Feel the extension of the fingers out and away from the shoulders. And maybe even I'm going to do cactus arms on this one. So feel that the extended leg, we're going to push that foot as though we had that foot up against a wall. So that whole bottom of that foot is engaged. The leg that's out to the side, you can activate the muscles in the thigh. And that's going to help with strengthening the knee. And again, those arms can be wherever they want, but feel that extension through the fingers. And feel the whole body supported. When we're in a tree and we're standing up, we feel ourselves rooted by that foot and strong leg into the earth. When we are supine, our whole body is strong and rooted into the earth. Take a moment here and breathe. And then when you're ready to come out, we're going to bring that knee back up towards the ceiling. Extend that leg straight out, and then we'll bring the other leg in. So we want to activate that second leg, pushing as though we're pushing into a wall. And then we're going to bring that knee out to the side. Arms can be wherever you like. I'm going to go up. Engage the fingers. Feel this strong sense of being rooted through the whole body. We're drawing up that strength of the earth into our very bones. And then let's take a couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to release. And we'll bring that knee up and extend it out. And then we're going to bring both knees bent again, feet into the mat. And I'm going to do a legs up the wall without the wall. So if you have a blanket handy, we're going to grab the blanket, push in with the feet, and slide the blanket under the pelvis. So the top of the blanket's at the top of those the pelvic bones on the back there. And we're just going to bring the legs up towards the feet up towards the ceiling. So feet can relax, or you can extend the heels. We'll have a little softness in the knees so we're not hyperextending. And the feet can be hip width distance apart, or you can bring the feet together. Arms can be out in a T or down by your sides where that feels good for your shoulders. And let's just take a couple of breaths here. When you're ready to come out, we're going to bend the knees and then bring the feet down to the mat. And if you used a blanket, we'll lift the hips up, slide it out. And then we're going to come into our Shavasana, our relaxation pose. So getting comfortable, you could bring your blanket under your head this time, if you'd like. And again, arms can be out at your sides. If it's comfortable, cactus arms are out in a T. I kind of like down by your sides and away from the body better, but you get comfortable for you. And then maybe lift the shoulders up and tuck the shoulder blades under. So we have a little bit of opening in that upper thoracic rib cage. And then depending on how your back feels, you can leave your knees bent, feet in the mat, or you can extend both legs all the way straight out. See how it feels, and don't be afraid to adjust if needed. I think I'm actually going to do this. Bringing the feet as wide as the mat, and then the knees tuck in towards each other so they're supporting each other. And just let go of a big sigh. That's a signal that your body sends your brain that you are relaxing. And now let go of the breath. Let go of thinking. If thoughts pop up, just acknowledge that it's a thought and let it go. Sometimes the harder you try and force something away, the stronger it comes back. I think we've all noticed that. And then let's do a little joint relaxation. So we're talking about strengthening the bones, and we want those joints in between to be relaxed so we can have fluid movement. So let's start at the top and work our way down for grounding. So the first big joint is this jaw joint, right there, that big one. A lot of people clench and grind, and it's important to take a moment and relax it. And then we're going to relax the spine, even though it's not what we would maybe necessarily think of as a joint, but it's bones connected to each other and they move. So we're going to relax the whole spine from inside the skull all the way down to the tailbone. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the elbows, relax the wrists, relax all the fingers, and then let's go back up to the throat. That's swallowing. And then the rib cage isn't really a joint, but the ribs do move. So we're just going to let go of the breath here. Next, we're going to come down and relax those hip joints. Relax the knee joints. Relax those very important ankle joints. And then all of the bones in the feet and all of the joints in the toes. Take another few moments here, letting go of the breath, letting thoughts release. Just take the next few moments and just be. You're welcome to stay in your relaxation pose as long as you need. And turn the video off and go have at it. Otherwise, when you're ready, we're going to come over onto our side. A nice little inhale, using the arm closest to the floor as a little pillow before you come up. Take a couple breaths here, back to equilibrium before we come up. So we're going to inhale, come up to seated. And then I always like to end with a big breath, and it feels like a breath of joy day. I kind of did a little bit of that with that standing tree pose. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the hands on the heart. We're going to inhale, hands come down, arms come all the way up, and then the fingertips touch. Exhale, bring them all the way back around, hands to the heart. And do that 3 times. You can switch which hand touches the heart. Here we go. Inhale, hands down. Arms come up, fingertips touch. On the exhale, arms all the way back around, hands to heart. Again, inhale. Fingertips touch. Exhale, arms come back down, hands to heart. And one more time. Inhale. Fingertips touch. Exhale. Hands back to the heart. And bring your hands together, palms together. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. And we've got a couple of more bone health yoga videos in the playlist. And we will be live on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Central Time for a while here as we make long and short videos for bone health. Thank you very much. Have a great day.